I am not someone who believes in these things. At least I did not used to. This happened on what should have been an ordinary night. I still think about it every single day, and I am not sure I will ever stop. I work as a hotel manager, trying to climb my way up the corporate ladder for a better life. My wife and I live in a condo unit near my workplace. We both have jobs to sustain our family's needs. Because of this, we adjusted our work schedules so that one of us could take care of our 6-year-old son at all times. I must say, climbing the corporate ladder is not easy. It means working at full capacity to ensure my performance never drops, being flexible with schedules, staying adaptive in a fast-paced environment, and being detail-oriented when it comes to problem solving. One day, I received the news I had been praying for: an opening for a promotion. However, it came with a series of seminars I needed to attend at other hotels the company owned. I grabbed the opportunity without any hesitation, without even considering how it would affect our family schedule. The first 2 seminars went well. The sites were nearby, and travel time was not a problem. However, for the 3rd seminar, the company sent me to a farther location, about 2 hours away by plane. During this time, my wife was also sent to a different city for a company event at her job. We decided that I would bring our son with me. The seminar would be held in their convention hall anyway, and he could sit beside me. We would only be staying for 1 night. Despite the hotel being old, its facilities were nice. The rooms were wide and had no unusual smell. It was comparable to the hotel I manage. We arrived in the morning, checked in, and attended the seminar shortly after. It only lasted a few hours and was finished by around 3 in the afternoon. After the seminar, my son and I went back to our room to rest for a bit. Around 5 in the afternoon, we decided to go outside the resort and visit the nearby city. The company had provided a rental car anyway. For my son, this was a small vacation, the kind my wife and I rarely managed to give him. I was delighted to see him in awe, taking in a place so different from the concrete jungle we lived in. After having dinner, we drove back to the resort. When we arrived, there were still lights on inside the resort grounds. My son wanted to look around the premises and see what it was like. I agreed. Little did I know, it would be one of the worst decisions I would ever make. We visited the pool area first. It was empty, and the water was dirty, but the ambience was pleasant. We then walked through the garden. It was slightly overgrown. I could not help but wonder why the resort was not being maintained. Lastly, we visited the playground. It was already nighttime, but the lights were still on. We stayed there for a few minutes before deciding to head back. As we were walking back toward the hotel, my son told me he needed to use the bathroom. I asked if he could wait until we reached the hotel, but he said he could not hold it anymore. I looked around and spotted a sign pointing to the nearest bathroom. We followed it. Then, by some stroke of bad luck, all the lights in the resort went out at once. I cannot believe this is happening, I said to myself. I used my phone as a flashlight. My son, however, was fearless. He was not afraid of the dark at all. I thought, somewhat fondly, that he had inherited his mother's nerves. When we reached the bathroom area, it was small and a little run down, but still functional. I shone my light toward the entrance, and we both saw 2 small cubicles inside. We entered together, and I stood at the entrance. I told my son to do his business, while I kept the light shining from the entrance. I told him to take the closest cubicle. He walked toward the first cubicle and stopped. He stared.
Dad?
What is it? Is the toilet dirty?
No, there is a man using the cubicle.
I stayed silent. In my mind, I was terrified because I could clearly see that nobody was using the first cubicle. Oh, sorry, I did not notice. Go to the next one then. Be quick. I'm tired, I said. My son moved to the second cubicle and did his business. It was the longest few seconds of my life. I never looked away from him, keeping the light focused on him the entire time. When he was done, he paused again. Let's go, son, I said.
Dad, he is blocking the way. Excuse me, sir?
It is okay, son. Go around him. Let's go.
Okay.
As he walked toward me, I scooped him up, turned my back, and walked as fast as I could away from that bathroom. My son asked why I was rushing. I forced a laugh and told him, I am just tired. I'm excited to get back to our amazing hotel room. He laughed too, completely unaware of the situation we had just been in. When we reached the hotel lobby, I leaned down and quietly asked him, Did you see the man's face?
No. I only saw his back. Maybe we should give him food, Dad. He's very thin.
That was when I realized it. Whatever that figure was, it had been facing towards me. I was terrified in a way I had never felt before. I kept telling myself it was only his imagination, but it felt too real. He was not the kind of child who lied, and he had never shown signs of having an imaginary friend. Back in the room, I packed our bags. We checked out and went straight to the airport. I booked the earliest available flight, regardless of the cost. I had a deep, wrenching feeling that that place, was not safe. My son asked why we were leaving so early. I told him, I just miss your mom that much, even though I knew my wife would not be home for another 2 days. After landing, I called my wife. She was worried because it was past midnight. I did not tell her what had happened. I just said we had caught an early flight home because the hotel was not good. When we arrived home, my son was already asleep. I carried him to his bed and tucked him in. I did not feel the least bit tired, despite being exhausted. I sat in the living room and poured myself a glass of wine to calm my nerves and take my mind off everything. It worked. I grew drowsy. I went to the bathroom to wash my face and brush my teeth before heading to bed. Just as I stepped out of the bathroom, my son appeared from his room.
Dad, I need to use the bathroom.
Okay, go ahead. I will wait for you. I stepped out. He then entered the bathroom but abruptly stopped.
Dad? Someone is using the bathroom.
My son never brought it up again. To him, it was just a trip with his dad. But I think about everything that happened that day. How he paused inside that resort bathroom. How he stopped at our own bathroom door. How he said those words like they were nothing. I do not know what followed us home. I do not know if it is still here. I never saw it, yet it inflicts fear. I pray that all of this was just the playful imagination of my son. But knowing him, he is not the kind of kid who makes things up. One thought lingers in my mind. Have we disturbed something? If this story gave you the creeps, don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. More original stories are coming. See you next time.